All right, guys. So we're gonna take the I forgot where my seatbelt was. We're gonna take the Datsun pickup truck for a ride. This will be the second time I've ever driven it, because the only other time was to go get it titled. Well, it wasn't terrible. It was a little scary, you know, like first time drive, and like you don't really have the most faith in it anyways. Yeah, you can hear it. Pretty much starts right up. As long as I've started it within like a couple weeks, it doesn't really need to be like primed or anything. No choke needed. I did finally get the manual choke ran. It's actually this knob right here that I think is slightly off camera. This thing has some really small, like a pretty small gear ratio. So right now we're doing 20 miles an hour and I'm in third gear. I did check, the speedometer is surprisingly accurate. Well, I checked as in like I drove by one of those speeding things, like the little digital speedometers, and it was like right on the money for when I was going like 30, 35. So I trust it. I think it's pretty good. Now I will say, one of the worst parts about this truck is the steering. It is like the opposite of tight. And it's kind of annoying to drive because, you know, once you start to kind of veer one way or another and you kind of, you know, you want to correct a little bit, it kind of causes you to overcorrect a lot because you have to like, I mean, it's like almost a quarter of a turn. And the brakes are a little bit iffy on it too. Like, I'm not sure, you guys can probably hear that noise, yeah. It's, you know, it's non-power brakes, but they make a lot of noise. I haven't really fully figured out why, because once again, I was under the whole like, all right, this thing's not in my name. I need to get this truck in my name before I put any more money into it, because I already put a pretty significant amount of money into it just to get it like to the point that I could get it titled. Because to get it titled, I had to get it, you know, safe. So it had to have the full safety inspection done. I definitely think the carb needs some tuning. I don't know much about tuning Webers. It's been a long time since I've really, I mean, you know, I've had to mess with carbs here and there throughout my history of working on cars, but not tons. And obviously, like in modern day technology, I'm not messing with carburetors very much. So every time I mess with one, it's like learning all over again. See, I'm in fourth gear right now, which that's the top gear. This thing's only a 4-speed. We're only doing 30 miles an hour. Now, these engines are actually known for being able to rev really high, like surprisingly high for a truck. The L16 is basically the same engine that they put in some of the 510s and some of the other, like the B210s, B510, whatever. And those engines are actually, like, you know, they're pretty good. They're 1.6 liter single overhead cam, and I think they rev to like maybe 6,700 RPM. And they make, like, I think their best power, it's like 4,000, like maybe 4,500 RPM. So obviously I'm not going to drive this truck like that yet because I don't trust it. I don't want to push it, you know, to its max either. I still have not done its first oil change. I mean, I've checked the oil, it's there, but I do need to do like a good clean oil change on it so all the maintenance records are actually up to like date for my standard. Because right now I don't really know when most things were done unless I did them. Hey, she rides smooth. It doesn't take bumps very nicely. It's pretty stiff suspension. The seat has some good springs in it though, even though the seat needs to be reupholstered. It has good springs. So it's not the worst ride, honestly. I've had worse. It's a little bit of a dog going up hills, especially in fourth gear. Fourth gear doing 35. Hey, it's doing it though. I'm accelerating. Now, if I had like a trailer on the back, I'd have to drop a gear for sure. But I got all my lights working, the brake lights, turn signals, hazards, the horn works. I mean, everything on this works. Actually, all the gauges work, surprisingly. Like, I have 2 temp gauges. I have 2 mechanical temp gauges, funny enough. I'm not sure why. I guess maybe they didn't have it working at some point and we got it working. Fuel gauge works. I'm on half a tank right now. I think it's very old fuel. I don't feel like I've put any new fuel in this, so I may have put a little bit of new fuel from like one of my gas tanks. But I think when I drained the tank, I saved a lot of the gas and I might have reused some of it. Not recommended, not ideal, but we did it. It's funny because when I first got this going, I didn't like to let it run for more than like a minute because it smoked really bad out of the engine bay. And it's crazy to think that, you know, not always. Sometimes there really is going to be like a potential fire, but in some cases, there's just so much like dried up oil and just nasty stuff that, you know, from a car not running for so long that needs to be burnt off or washed off, but I didn't wash it, so in my case I burnt it. Do a little downshift here. Oh yeah. It's not as slow as I thought. That's actually like the first time. That was third gear. not the fairest gear to get on it. Maybe I'll do a little first gear pull here. I gotta say, like, the brakes, even though everything's like new, they don't feel great. I'm not sure what's going on there. They, like I said, they don't have power, like it's non-power brakes. So I mean, there's a good chance that, like, you know, they just feel like crap and I'm just not used to them yet. But my Roadster doesn't have power brakes and it weighs only, I think, a little bit less than this, maybe a few hundred pounds. And I feel like it's a lot easier to stop. That was 30 miles an hour. I mean, it's not fast, but honestly, it's not as slow as I thought it was. It's kind of funny. This thing's got potential. Yeah, it's honestly though, hey, windows down, it feels great right now. It's been like 95. I mean, the heat index has been like over 100. It's been like 113 the last couple days. But right now, the weather's it's like 9 o'clock p.m. So it's sun's going down. We got a little bit of rain. I don't know if you guys can see any, but a little bit of drizzle. And so the temperature's really dropped. And this is like that ideal Datsun weather, because this truck is a non-AC truck from the factory. And that's what's funny about these Datsun trucks is they didn't have a lot of options back then. AC, I don't think any of the 620s had. I think the 720s, you know, had it along with the auto. I think that's the first year they maybe even had four-wheel drive, was the 720 as well. So, you know, that's what's cool about these trucks is, well, it's cool and it's also lame. It's like, you know, you don't really see a lot of variety with them unless you heavily mod them. So that's what a lot of, you know, Datsun owners do. You either keep it original or you mod it, you know? So we got the original L16 in here with the 4-speed transmission. You guys, if you watch twitch.tv/toastybros, you get to see I did a fun stream where I actually drove this truck to the DMV and got it titled that morning. I did have to do some fixing. I think it was this bright right here was actually out. So funny enough, the headlights are single filament. It uses 2 single filament on each side, and that's how you get your brights. It basically just doubles up the bulbs. The secondaries, which are like your brights, are slightly angled upwards. So that's how you get the brights. Pretty cool. I showed you guys last time. I did a full walk around recently of this truck, but we got the Method wheels with, I believe, some Falcon tires. Really good size too, I might add. Definitely a lot thicker. Overall, just larger than the factory, but I maintained kind of the similar aspect ratio, so my speedometer is still good. But hey, she has a good idle. Very smooth, not too loud or anything. Feels good. I remember, yeah, I did stop. I got my my DJI action here for a cool little driving shot here in a minute, but we got our brake lights working, we got our reverse light working, our license plate light. Like we got everything pretty good to go here, guys. So it's pretty cool. Not really any super like majorly scary noises now. I will say at first there was a couple that kind of, funny enough, they worked themselves out. I did have to mess with the brakes a little bit. I'm gonna pop the hood for you guys, turn the engine off too. But I did a little bit of work to get this, you know, after I drove it the first time, funny enough. A little bit of dieseling there. Kind of wanted to keep running. Let's turn these headlights off. I need to replace that switch too. I've been 3D printing new knobs, but yeah, all electronics work. So we got a good old-fashioned Datsun hood. I love this is OG stuff right here, guys. I don't know how half the new cars out there, like, you have to actually manually prop the hood up, but anyways. So we got the 1.6 liter here, aftermarket radiator. It looks like it may have had a little bit of a splooge, a little bit of fluid leakage possibly. I really need to get an expansion tank on this. It should have one, just like any other car. But yeah, very thick aluminum radiator, like too thick for its own good, because that fan gets dangerously close to it. It does not appear to have ever made contact so far though. And I've driven it, you know, probably about 25 miles without contact. So we'll take that as a dub for now. Wiring's pretty janky. In all honesty, I need to go through eventually and like really go at it, but we have a painless fuse block, which makes things a lot easier. But still, you know, there's a lot of stuff I had like bypass and figure out to get this truck just even running and like all of the electronics working. But now that they all work, you know, I feel a little more comfortable. And now that it's titled too, it's in my name finally, thank goodness. I can finally put some money into this and kind of make it how I want it. I like the idea of making it look like an old shop truck, like maybe having someone make like a vinyl decal that looks really old and rustic that says PC Bros, you know, like PC, you know, gaming PC sales or something, but almost like the old mechanic parts runner type truck. I think that's like my ultimate goal with this. So because of the color of the wheels, I'll probably keep it some type of dark color like black or like maybe a dark gray or something. I kind of maybe like the idea of the patina look, which it already kind of sort of has, because the guy before me spray painted it with like a wrinkle coat, which is like what you paint valve covers with. I don't know why he did that, but you know, funny enough, it's grown on me. It really has. I've had a lot of compliments on this truck already too, which is really sick. The beds in these, surprisingly capable. Pretty good sized bed. They even have, all these trucks have a factory fuel inspection area where you can actually take that off and you can get to your fuel sending unit and all that stuff. Well, sorry, it'd be the gauge sending unit and the hoses. So that is sick, because most trucks you have to take off the whole entire bed to do anything to them. You got pretty good sized wheel wells, but they're all metal. You know, they're part of the bed, which is really sick. Another thing that all these beds usually will have is hooks all the way around. So, and I'm talking like all the way, even the back. And one thing that I love about old Datsuns, you got the double all metal latches for each side. And then, you know, one thing that's really funny is this is kind of before the era of just having like a flat tailgate where it's a little bit more seamless. Now it does, you know, the chains are the perfect length to where it comes down flat, but you have like this dip in here, so it's not as convenient to step on, which is kind of funny, but you know, it works. You get a good gap here for water and stuff to run out of, you know, dust, all that crap. All the glass in the truck's good. We even have like our little side windows, which do work well. Gaskets are pretty shot. This truck was actually in like, I think it was Arizona most of its life, and then it went to, I think it was Missouri for a few years, and then it came to me. So I believe I'm the third owner. I don't know that for sure, but I believe I am. Yeah, it's in really good shape. I've replaced a lot of stuff on it. We got a Weber, I think it's is it the 3236 carb, the one that everyone runs, the red line. It's like 300 something bucks for the manual choke kit. I have some really ugly vacuum block offs that I'll eventually, you know, there's a lot of things I gotta eventually replace. We also have new master brake and clutch cylinder. Need to move this before that gets chopped off. We have an electronic distributor, which I will say this one actually worked. This is from, what's the good Datsun parts store? Is it Z, you know what, I'm gonna put it, Z Car Depot. Z Car Depot, this is supposed to be for like a 510, but it worked perfect for my truck, which had dual point distributor. So a lot of those electronic, you know, ignition replacement kits are designed for single points. Mine had the dual points where there's points on each side. So a lot of them said they wouldn't work. I even bought one and it didn't work, but I will say, for some reason, the one from Z Car Depot worked great for me. My coil is just a pretty, it's just, oh yeah, it's a Spectre. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than that. I took the ballast resistor off, obviously. We're just running straight to it now because we can do 12 volts. We don't have a ballast anymore, so we don't have to worry about points getting burnt up. New fuel pump, I don't remember, I think I did this, but I don't even remember. The problem is I've had this truck for over a year. When I got it, I did a good amount of work to it, kind of got discouraged, got really busy with other things, kind of put it on the back burner. And so now here we are, like over a year later, I just now got it titled. Yeah, so a lot of work. Now we do have disc brakes in the front, full disc conversion. They're drilled and slotted. Not that I really cared for that, but that's how they came. But yeah, pretty good sized disc brakes in the front. I will say, stopping so far has not felt much better. That's kind of the thing, is drum brakes have really good stopping power. They just suck, you know, they suck to work on, they suck to maintain. But they do stop really well, especially compared to like disc with no hydraulic pressure, because this thing is just all natty. We don't have a brake booster on this truck, so yeah, it doesn't have the greatest stopping power. Maybe I need to figure something out that I did wrong. I don't think so though, because it does stop. You just have to put a lot of force into it. There, we got a little holage next to the gas pedal. Oh, and a little bit next to that, but that's really the worst of it. I don't know if let's check the passenger side, honestly, while we're at it. Because honestly, I've been under this truck a lot more than I've been in it. And it's very solid. I mean, it's a little rusty, but it is solid. I mean, a lot of it's like this, factory paint, you know, some rust spots, but nothing too intimidating or scary. Yeah, this side's good. We got the factory plugs removed, so water was able to drain. No holes though, that I could see. Well guys, that was a fun drive. This is only my second time driving this truck, and it's funny because the first time I drove it, I'm not gonna lie, I was like clenching the whole way. I was like, man, this thing's gonna break down. I'm gonna get in a wreck. I'm not gonna be able to stop. I'm not gonna be able to accelerate something. But hey, second time driving it, I felt a lot more comfortable and I was kind of cruising. I think I think I could trust this truck to take me somewhere far right now if I wanted to. I don't want to, and I don't know if I trust it that much, but I think it could do it. I'm pretty impressed just with how little of work I've had to do to it. In retrospect, I mean, I got it like literally not running, driving, braking, clutching, anything. Like literally nothing worked. And I've put a couple thousand into it. I've put, you know, some hours into it, but just in terms of like everything being like relatively rust-free, I haven't had any broken bolts, nothing seized up on me. Everything is just kind of gone my way pretty well, which is pretty impressive. I forgot I even did like front and rear wheel bearings on it. Like I've done a lot to this truck that I don't even remember anymore because it's been so long. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully we'll have some more Datsun, I mean, we're gonna have more Datsun content, but hopefully we'll have some more Datsun 521 pickup content in the next video. But we'll see you guys later. Peace out.